Welcome to the Service Industry Podcast. I've spent the last decade as a CEO, operator, and business builder selling tens of millions of dollars in products and services. I, just like many of you, started with nothing. My mission for this podcast is to help you become the greatest version of yourself, help you grow and scale your business, and create the life you've always dreamed of. I'm your host, Matt Smith. Enjoy the episode. What up, everybody? Matt here from the Service Industry Podcast. Hope you guys are doing well. I'm going to have a really good tactical episode for you guys today in regards to marketing. And we're talking about how keeping your marketing simple is actually going to be the thing that allows you to scale. And I'm going to break down how we are going to do $5 million in revenue in our roofing business next year using one marketing pillar. Before we get into the episode today, first, if you're a new listener, welcome. Glad to have you. This podcast, man, it's all about home service businesses. So if you own a home service company, you are in the right place. Welcome. And for all y'all that are returning back time and time again for the last 6+ years, thank you, love you, glad you're here. For those of you that know, I own a marketing company, ServiceIndustryCoach.com. We are jamming right now with direct mail and all different types of print marketing, as well as coaching services. If you want to get in on what we are doing, then you need to go to ServiceIndustryCoach.com, get on the print marketing train. Let's go. We want to help you. And the link is also in the show notes. And also, if you have not joined the free Facebook group, 100% free, go hang out with us there. We'd love to have you. So today we're talking about how to simplify your marketing and why it's important to simplify your marketing, because truly doing too many things with marketing could be the reason you're not scaling as fast as you want to scale. Now, you guys know I like to build businesses, but more importantly than that, I like to build businesses in the most simple way possible because I'm just not that smart of a guy. And the more simple it is, the better luck I will have in it being successful. Now, I'm sure many of you can relate to that. Listen, a lot of us are in the home service business space, not because we love it, but because it's what we knew, or it's because we weren't very wise or smart, or weren't getting into, building apps and AI and all this other stuff. And so what did we do? For me, I picked up a squeegee and started cleaning windows back in 2012. And here I am building multiple businesses and, sold some and that whole 9 yards. And for some of you guys, you might be in the trades because the trades is all you know, right? So let's just be honest. Us trades guys aren't always the smartest dudes in the circle. And so the more simple that we can keep things, the better. And so, we've been building this roofing business now for 5 months. We're going to hit $1 million in revenue this month, which is pretty cool. We're excited about that. And we have a goal for next year to do 5 million. And you guys have probably heard me say, but our goal is to build this over the next few years and sell to private equity fairly quick, okay, for 8 figures. So next year we have a goal to do 5 million in sales, and I think it's really possible. Now here's the cool part, is what we're going to talk about today is how we've already broken this $5 million goal down, not based on hopes and dreams and what we think, but based on data that we have collected so far over the last 4 or 5 months of marketing. Now, we've done multiple things when it comes to marketing for our roofing business. We run Google ads, Facebook ads, direct mail, yard signs, cold outreach, building relationships with people that can bring us more work, all that kind of stuff. But today, we have simplified this down to one marketing source. And the example I'm going to give you today is direct mail, of how we are going to build a $5 million business off of direct mail alone. Now, I have to put a disclaimer out there because I don't want you guys thinking that you can just pick any piece of direct mail and it's going to work. All marketing sources work, but you have to understand how to make them convert. So before you go all getting excited about direct mail by the end of this episode, I want to tell you there's a right and wrong way to do it. I've been doing it for a decade, and I have spent hundreds of thousands of dollars, and I've lost so much money on direct mail learning what does and doesn't work. So I have a little bit of an unfair advantage here where from the start of this business, I've been doing this long enough, I had a pretty good idea of what I thought was going to work, and I guess we got lucky and it did. So before you go out and spend tons of money on direct mail because you're excited about these numbers, either learn it and understand what makes direct mail convert, or hire somebody who does. Someone like us, we'd love to help you. All right, so for our $5 million goal, I'm going to break this math down. I have this written down here in front of me so I don't jack this up because I'm not great at math. But we've done all the math here, and this is, again, based on data. So we didn't send direct mail our first 2 months because we were in the building phase. We launched this roofing business with $10,000. That allowed us to get the truck wrapped. That allowed us to build the website, etc. Turn on some Google ads, real basic stuff. The important thing to understand is when we sold our first job, we took that profit, rolled it back into the business. Sold our second job, took that profit, rolled it back into the business. And so that is how we have been able to spend lots of money on marketing quickly, is because in the very, very beginning, we sacrificed a lot, basically not paying ourselves for the first few months so we could reinvest that money back into things that generate sales. Now, like you guys heard me say, we've done about $1 million in sales. We have put away about a little over $250,000 in the bank from this business so far over our first 5 months. So our breakdown for direct mail in order to hit the goal next year, which is $5 million. So far, over the last 3 months, we've sent about 30,000 postcards. Okay. Or I should say mailers, because we're testing our new flyer, Everywhere Direct Mail, that we have that are crushing. And so we've sent about 30,000 of those over the last 3 months. Now we started with 5,000, and then we have slowly began to scale that over that 3-month period. We've spent around $17,500 on direct mail total, and it's produced us $350,000 of revenue. Now, here's how the math gets broken down. So just want you guys to envision this. We've sent 30,000 mailers. It's cost us about $17,500, and it's produced us about $350,000 of revenue, right? That's a 20x on revenue. Okay, so that's a 20x return on revenue. That's our ROAS, return on ad spend. Now, our profit out of that is around $105,000, which is pretty cool. So what we're going to do is we need to figure out, okay, well, that seems like a pretty proven and scalable model because, we're doing everything I've always talked about, which is mailing to the same routes every 30 days and the whole 9 yards. And as we scale our mailers, we scale to new routes and we'll continue to mail to those same routes. And so this is proving again in a different business, again, to be a scalable and proven model to grow. And so I said, well, what if we just did something crazy? Like, what if we ignored all of our other marketing sources and we just did one marketing source, did the math on it to get to our goal next year, which is $5 million. How would we do that? How do we know how many mailers we would have to send with the data we have? Well, with the data we have, we know that we're getting roughly a 20x return. And so we got to take our goal of $5 million and divide it by what it's produced us so far, which is $350,000. So if you do that, it's about a 14x, meaning I got to 14x my output of postcards or mailers next year in order to do that. So how many is that? Well, if I take 30,000 cards and I times it by 14, it's about 420,000 cards I need to get out. Now you go, okay, well, how many per month is that? Well, what's your season? Here in Michigan, conservatively with winter, we're in a 9-month season. So we take 420,000 cards divided by 9 months, and I need to be sending just under 50,000 cards, 47,000 cards per month to be exact, in order to hit my $5 million goal, as long as the numbers hold, which so far over the last 3 months they have. And that's it. You're like, well, there's got to be more to it than that, Matt. No, there's not. If I use the data that I've collected and it continues to stay accurate as we scale, which with direct mail I would expect it would, then literally all we have to do is just go from sending 10 or 20,000 a month to 47,000 a month, and it will put us on a $5 million pace to do $5 million in 2026. You go like, wow, that seems pretty simple. Right. So, then we have things running in the background that are more automated, like your Google ads and Facebook ads, right? And then if you want to get even crazier, you can throw out yard signs. Like this month, we're doing 500 yard signs. You just go, okay, cool. So building a plan to get to where I want to go is not that hard, as long as I have the data. Now, here's the biggest thing that I see all home service businesses doing, not all, but most, is they don't track their marketing. Honestly, one of the most common questions I get from people is, Matt, how do you track your marketing? Well, it's really simple. I mean, you can do things like call tracking numbers and stuff like that. But if you want to start for free and just keep it really basic, literally just ask every single customer how they heard about you and then put that lead source in your CRM. And if you have a half decent CRM, you should be able to pull a report based on lead sources at the end of every month to see what your stats are on them. For example, if someone calls, I say, hey, how'd you hear about us? Oh, we got your mailer. Okay, cool. I put it in that it was in direct mail. At the end of the month, I should be able to go pull a lead source report and see how many leads I got with that direct mail piece, how many deals we closed, and what it produced in revenue. Boom, you're done. Easy peasy, right? So that's what you guys need to be doing. The problem is almost nobody does that. For whatever reason, I do not understand, because when you do that, and you have real data like I'm talking about right now, you're able to very simply see, one, is this marketing source working? Some of you guys are spending money and it's tanking and you don't even know it, right? Like some of you guys aren't tracking your Google spend and your Google return. And if you were, you would be going, I need to fix this because it's broken. And then other marketing sources you're doing at a really low, small level, and you're super profitable on them, and you don't know that either when you should be scaling those up. And so when you simplify your marketing, when you find one or two winners that are scalable, it can likely build your business to where you want it to be at the end of the day. So like for us, we need to get to 10 to 15 million before we sell in revenue. Well, I just gave you a very clear blueprint of how we're going to get to half of that next year using one single marketing source. And then you go, well, Matt, if that's going to get you to 5 million, couldn't you just double that and get to 10? You're right. How crazy is that, right? Like I could go from sending 47,000 postcards to whatever the math is. We'll call it 100,000 postcards. And if the numbers hold, that should get me to 10 million. Boom, I'm there. Now I'm calling private equity and saying, who wants me? And I'm selling. And then when you sell and you sell for 8 figures and you make a whole bunch of money and millions of dollars, people are going to think that you're some super smart. No, I'm not some super smart dude. I just found a marketing source that worked. I tracked the numbers. I had the data, reverse engineered the math, and scaled it. That's all. The other problem is most people don't do things long enough to have good data, right? Like people will buy direct mail from me once. And even if it works for whatever reason, they'll do it again in 3 months or 6 months. Oh, I've just been busy, like haven't gotten around to it. So they don't have data. They don't have consistent data. And so how can they make these decisions if they're not doing marketing consistently? They can't. So a lot of people aren't tracking their marketing. They don't track their numbers, but also most people don't do marketing consistently to be able to track their numbers, right? Because you can't just take 1 month of data. And I'll be honest, even 3 months of data is less than I like. But if we could get 6, 12 months of data and it's consistent, game over, man. Game over. And so I want to share that with you guys because I think some of you guys are coming up with these, or at least you think you need to come up with these over elaborate marketing plans that are, there's some secret, there's some hidden thing that you're missing. You're not missing anything. You're just not great at probably any of them, right? Like I would rather you guys be an expert at one marketing pillar than just be like 25% good at a bunch, like at 5 different ones, okay? And if you were great at one, you can likely scale your business to wherever you want it to go, okay? If you're like, well, I just need like a $1 million or $3 million business, Matt, that's all I'm trying to do. Easy, dude. One marketing pillar. That's all. Being great at one marketing pillar, not being afraid to scale it, keeping track of your numbers, making sure it's profitable. That's all you need. It's literally it. So sometimes, a lot of times, simplifying your marketing will actually be the thing that allows you to scale rather than trying to do a bunch of other stuff not that well. All right. So I hope breaking those numbers down for you makes sense. But I hope just more so the overall vision of what I'm saying here, it takes some weight off your shoulders, because trust me, dude, I get it when it's like, man, I got to learn all this stuff. I got to learn Google. I got to learn Facebook. I got to learn direct mail. I got to learn how to create a yard sign that converts. I got to learn cold outreach. I got to learn how to cold call and cold email and walk in, and like, it's a lot, dude. It's a lot. But what if you were just like, dude, only thing I have to do, I have to get really good at one marketing source that's scalable. That's scalable. Okay. That's doable. That feels like I could, that's like, man, I feel like I could maybe accomplish that over the winter, right? So yeah, I hope that's helpful for you guys. If you guys have any questions about it, shoot me a message or an email in the Facebook group, on TikTok. I post a ton of content on TikTok for you guys, but I just hope that this gives you a little bit of relief, but also a little motivation, like, hey man, let's go look at our numbers if we got them. And if we don't, let's put some systems in place so we can track things. And let's actually commit to one single marketing source for the next 3 to 6 months. And let's track it and see what kind of return we get. And if we get a return, let's build a plan around it to scale our business. I'll see you guys on the next episode. Thank you for listening to this episode of the podcast. As always, if you need any help marketing your business or want to work with me directly doing one-on-one coaching, visit serviceindustrycoach.com. We'll see you on the next episode.